I'm Lucy. Today, on the anniversary of my daughter Lily's death, I'm standing in a garden filled with wildflowers. A bench with her name carved in cedar stands nearby. Dozens of families are here, children she'd never met but had helped. As I kneel beside her plaque, I don't cry, I smile. For the first time since her burial, I exhale without breaking. It all started when my 10-year-old daughter Lily passed away. I was left to bury her alone. Meanwhile, my family was at a fancy art auction across town, sipping on expensive wine. My mother, Helen, sent me a message during the burial. "Stop being so over the top. This is urgent," she wrote. She was talking about Lily's $1,250,000 trust fund, a settlement from a wrongful death case after Lily's heart surgery went wrong at 8. The service was small, a closed casket, and no roses because Lily hated them. As the priest spoke, I watched a robin land on her headstone. It felt like even nature was saying goodbye. But the pews behind me were half empty. My father, Richard, was too busy at the auction, and my sister, Emily, sent a text saying, "Can't miss this art talk." The night before the burial, my brother, Jake, called. His voice was low and slippery. "You still have access to the account, right? That trust fund is supposed to be for the whole family, Lucy. We should all have a say in this." But that trust fund was Lily's. It was her legacy, and now it was my responsibility to protect it. When my mother's text came during the burial, I was too stunned to reply. But my husband, Tom, was there beside me. He made the call, his voice steady. "She's done grieving, and so am I," he said firmly. Then he took out the papers. He didn't hesitate when he called the bank. He told them to revoke all COPE beneficiaries. Even when the bank employee asked, "Are you sure you want to remove her paternal grandparents?" he simply replied, "I'm certain." By sunset, the $1,250,000 trust fund was in my name, under my control. There would be no shared access, no family discussions. It was like building legal walls around what was left of Lily's life. That night, sitting on the edge of our bed in black, Tom knelt in front of me and held my hands gently. "They treated her death like it was nothing," he said. "They won't be able to touch her name again." I couldn't cry, I'd run out of tears at the gravesite. I just whispered, "Thank you." The next day, the retaliation began. Emily posted a long thread on social media. "Money changes people. Grief makes them heartless. Some inherit pain, others steal it." Everyone knew who she was talking about. Then came a group email from Helen. The subject was family unity, and the body read, "We're disappointed in your recent legal decisions. Your daughter was loved by all of us. It's cruel to shut us out of her legacy." Legacy? It was as if they saw Lily as a will to be divided. I didn't reply, but my lawyer did with a single line: cease and desist. We were done being nice. They had their chance to be there at the hospital, at the funeral, but now they wanted a piece of the money. They sent anonymous, venomous emails to Tom's law firm, and spread rumors to his clients about his mental instability and unresolved trauma. They even contacted the hospital that took care of Lily, alleging misuse of funds. But the trust was clean. Every penny was accounted for. We had used the money for college scholarships for girls with heart defects and pediatric care donations. We also set aside enough for our own financial security. They didn't want justice, they just wanted access to the money. When that didn't work, they tried to erase Lily. Her name started disappearing from the family group chat, from my parents' Facebook photos, and even from the family's shared Google Calendar where her birthday was once marked with shiny emojis. One night, I broke down in the pantry, clutching Lily's old lunchbox that still smelled faintly of strawberries and crayons. "She's vanishing," I sobbed to Tom. "I can't stop them." Tom held me in silence. Then, he did something I didn't expect. He launched a foundation in Lily's name, the Lily Hope Fund, for girls with fragile hearts and strong spirits. He built the website in a weekend, filled it with photos and stories they couldn't erase, and made it public. Donations started pouring in. People sent messages saying, "She reminds me of my cousin. I wish I'd known her. Thank you for not letting her story fade away." The foundation made them angry. They didn't expect me to turn my grief into action, and they definitely didn't expect Lily's name to go viral. Local news picked it up with a small segment titled "Mother Turns Tragedy into Hope." In the background of the news clip, I could hear Helen's voicemail. "Lucy, this has gone too far. You're exploiting her memory. This isn't what a family does. But what a family should do is be there during difficult times, not use a child's death for financial gain." The next day, Richard filed a formal request through an attorney, claiming that part of the trust belonged to the extended family. He even included screenshots of Lily's birthday cards from them as proof of their emotional involvement. Our attorney, Mark, laughed. "They'll lose in court, but they want a public fight. It's all about control and image." I didn't back down. I filed a counter-claim, publicly stating their emotional negligence, their absence at Lily's surgeries, and the messages they sent during her burial. I attached the original trust documents, which were notarized and sealed. All the funds were mine as per Lily's wishes. The backlash was immediate. Emily's tweets disappeared, and my parents deactivated their accounts. For once, the silence felt well-deserved. They wanted to erase Lily, but now every dollar in the trust fund was a reminder of her, a boundary they'd never cross. But the silence didn't bring me peace. Grief resurfaced in the smallest ways. Lily's toothbrush still sat in the cup by the sink, and her rain boots were untouched by the back door. Her laughter echoed in the quiet house. I was doing interviews, podcasts, and participating in panels on medical trust management and parental advocacy. Every time I said her name, it was like lighting a candle in her memory. Then, one day, I received a letter in a plain envelope with no return address. Inside was a photograph of Lily at age 5, sitting on Emily's lap. She was smiling, but clearly in pain, with her pale cheeks and tired eyes. On the back, it was scribbled, "You're not the only one who loved her. Stop acting like it." I didn't show it to Tom. Instead, I scanned it, filed it, and logged the postmark. I called Mark, and he traced the postmark to a private P.O. box in upstate New York. It was Jake. He hadn't spoken to me since the funeral, but now he wanted to remind me of his so-called love. Where was he when Lily asked for him at the hospital? We filed a report, not for criminal reasons but just to document their actions. I logged every move they made and every word they said. It wasn't about revenge, it was about making sure they had no right to tell Lily's story. One day, my cousin, Sarah, messaged me on LinkedIn. "Your parents are planning a memorial event without you. It's just for show." They never called me, never asked about Lily's favorite things. It was all about branding. I didn't confront them. Instead, I contacted the venue and sent them legal proof that I held all rights to Lily's likeness, the foundation name, and the trust identity. I made it clear that if they used her name without my permission, they'd face serious consequences. 2 days later, the event was cancelled. I found out through a post on Helen's Instagram story, saying it was postponed due to unforeseen obstacles. Then, in January, I received an envelope with Lily's handwriting. It was a recent mailing. Inside was a piece of notebook paper with a drawing of crayon hearts. Her name was scrawled at the top, for Mommy. And in the corner, a note I'd never seen before, "Keep this safe. If anything happens, it's for you." On the back, in adult handwriting, it said, "She made this the day of her last surgery." No signature, no return address. I called Mark and asked for a handwriting analysis and to find out where it came from. He worked quickly. The handwriting matched a nurse, Linda, who had worked in the cardiac unit. She'd been fired shortly after Lily's final surgery. When we found her in Maine, she said, "I'm so sorry. I wanted to come forward earlier, but your family was always around. They warned the staff not to talk to you. They said you were litigious and would sue anyone who got in your way." My hands went cold. They had painted me as the bad guy, even in the hospital. Linda mailed the drawing because she thought I deserved to know the truth. She also had copies of visitor logs, records of who came in and out during Lily's final hours, and notes that had been removed from the hospital's official files. One name kept appearing in the logs, Helen's. Lily had asked for me, but Helen had told the nurses I needed rest and that she'd sit with Lily instead. I was never informed. I realized I wasn't just grieving a death, I was uncovering a theft of Lily's last moments. A yellow folder was passed to me across a coffee shop table. Inside were altered timestamps, revised medical staff notes, and a discharge document signed by someone who wasn't me. Helen had signed my name twice to keep me away from Lily. I didn't take it to court. I didn't expose Helen in the media. The real punishment was that she would never see me again. No visits, no birthdays, no access to the foundation, and no claim to Lily's name. I changed my number, filed a final legal block, and built a firewall around Lily's legacy. And now, here I am, on this anniversary. Lily isn't alone. She's in the names whispered by grateful parents, in the laughter of healed little hearts, and in the roots under my hands. Her love and spirit will always live on.